All right, let's dive into a really cool spot in Hong Kong. It's the Jervois, a boutique hotel that's been on my radar for a while now. We're going to explore everything about it, see if it lives up to the hype, and ultimately help you decide if it's the perfect place for you to stay on your next Hong Kong adventure.
Sound like a plan.
So let's start with the basics. The Jervois is located in Sheung district. Now, for those who haven't been to Hong Kong, Sheung might not be the first place that springs to mind.
It's definitely a little bit off the beaten path. It's not your typical tourist hub.
Right, but that's what makes it so intriguing. So what is it about Sheung that makes it such a special place to stay?
Well, first of all, it's one of Hong Kong's oldest districts. It's got this incredible history. You walk down the streets and you see these traditional Chinese medicine shops, these little stalls selling all sorts of interesting things. But then you turn a corner and suddenly you're in a cutting-edge art gallery or a trendy coffee shop filled with hipsters.
So it's like a blend of old and new.
Exactly. It's that unexpected contrast that gives it a really unique vibe.
Okay, I'm starting to get it, but I have to admit, when I think of Hong Kong, I think of skyscrapers and bustling streets, that classic Hong Kong energy. Does Sheung offer any of that?
Oh, absolutely. You can definitely find that energy,
Yeah.
especially in the main shopping streets. But what's really cool is that it's balanced with these pockets of tranquility.
So you can find that peace and quiet amidst the chaos.
Exactly. And one of the best examples of that is the Manmo Temple.
I've heard of that.
It's right in the heart of Shenyuan. But when you step inside, you're transported to this oasis of calm.
What's the story behind the temple?
Well, it was built back in 1847, and it's dedicated to the gods of literature and war.
Wow, 1847. That's some serious history right there. So we've got a neighborhood that's a fascinating mix of old and new, bustling and serene. Sounds pretty ideal, actually. But let's talk about the Jervois itself. I understand it was designed by someone pretty famous in the design world.
Oh yeah, it was designed by Christian Liegre. He's kind of a big deal. Internationally renowned for his minimalist but luxurious style.
So we're not talking about like stark and cold minimalism.
Not at all. Liegre is a master at creating spaces that feel incredibly warm and inviting, even though they're very simple.
Okay, give me a sense of the aesthetic. What kind of materials, colors, textures are we talking about?
Well, he's all about natural materials like wood, stone, linen, and the color palettes are very muted and sophisticated. Lots of earthy tones, grays, creams. It's very calming and elegant.
That sounds right up my alley.
And one of the really cool things is that he incorporates traditional Chinese design elements, but in a very subtle way.
So it's not like overtly themed or anything like that?
No, it's very understated.
Very cool. Now, I've heard there's a super unique feature in the suites, private lift lobbies. Tell me, is that as amazing as it sounds?
It's definitely a statement. Imagine stepping off the lift and you're right there in your own private entryway.
Mm.
No hallways, no awkward encounters.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. It sounds very exclusive.
It definitely is. It's all about privacy and personalized service.
Okay, I'm sold on the private lift lobbies. But what about the more practical things? Let's say I'm a traveler who values flexibility and convenience. What kind of amenities does the Jervois offer?
Well, one thing that sets it apart from a lot of other hotels is that every suite has a fully equipped kitchen.
Really? That's pretty unusual.
It is, especially in a city like Hong Kong. But it's brilliant because it gives you so much freedom.
I can see that. You can cook your own meals. You don't have to rely on room service
Oh,
or eating out all the time.
exactly. And it's perfect for those who are maybe traveling for a longer period.
Or those who like to have a little bit more control over their food.
Absolutely.
So, thumbs up for the kitchens. What about other amenities, like a gym, for instance? I know I wouldn't want to skip my workouts just because I'm on vacation.
Don't worry, they've got you covered. They have a state-of-the-art fitness center, so you can definitely keep up with your routine.
Excellent.
And of course, high-speed Wi-Fi is available throughout the hotel.
Well, that's a given these days. I mean, who can travel without Wi-Fi?
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered the basics: location, design, amenities. But let's talk about something that always gets me excited: food. What's the culinary scene like at the Jervois and in the surrounding Sheung area?
Well, the Jervois itself has a restaurant that's been getting a lot of buzz. They're known for their innovative cuisine, using fresh local ingredients, but with a modern twist.
Okay, that sounds intriguing.
It's like traditional Cantonese cuisine, but elevated to a whole new level.
I'm sold.
And then, of course, there's the incredible food scene in Sheung itself. It's a foodie paradise.
So what are some of the must-try dishes in the area? What would you recommend for someone who wants to experience authentic Hong Kong flavors?
Oh, there are so many options. But you definitely have to try the egg tarts. Hong Kong is famous for their egg tarts,
Mm.
and there's a little bakery in Sheungwan that supposedly makes the best ones in the city.
Oh, I'm making a note of that.
And of course, you can't go wrong with a steaming bowl of wonton noodles. That's a classic for a reason.
I love wonton noodles. Okay, so we've got the feed situation covered, but let's shift gears for a second and talk about getting around. Sheungwan might be a bit off the beaten path, but it's still got to be easy to get to the rest of Hong Kong.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And that's where the Jervois location really shines. It's just a short walk from the Sheungwan MTR station.
For those who aren't familiar with Hong Kong, the MTR is their subway system.
Right. Exactly. And it's incredibly efficient. You can get pretty much anywhere in the city quickly and affordably.
So no need to worry about taxis or traffic jams.
Nope. The MTR is the way to go.
All right, so we've got a prime location, amazing food, and easy access to the rest of Hong Kong. What's not to love?
It does sound pretty ideal.
But what are people actually saying about their stay at the Jervois? We've got to get into those guest reviews and see what real people are saying.
That's a great idea. Let's see if it lives up to the hype.
All right, spill the tea. Is the Jervois really as amazing as it seems?
Well, one thing that pops up again and again in the reviews
Mm-hmm.
is the impeccable cleanliness.
Ah, that's always a good sign.
Guests consistently rave about how spotless the rooms are and how the entire hotel just feels fresh and well-maintained.
Cleanliness is definitely high on my list of priorities when choosing a hotel.
It makes a big difference.
So what else are guests saying? Anything about the service?
Oh, the service is another major highlight. Guests consistently praise the staff for their warmth, their attentiveness, and their willingness to go above and beyond.
So it's not just like generic hotel service.
No, it's very personalized.
Yeah.
Guests often mention specific staff members by name, like Tommy, Kiki, and Angel, who are known for offering personalized recommendations and just making guests feel really special.
I love that they're remembering staff members' names. That really speaks volumes about the level of personal attention they're receiving.
It does.
And there's one guest review that I think really captures the essence of what people love about the Jervois. This guest wrote, "Staying at the Jervois was like having a home away from home. The staff's attention to detail and the luxurious amenities made our stay unforgettable."
That's a pretty glowing review.
It is. And the more we uncover about the Jervois, the more tempting it sounds.
It is pretty tempting.
But before you book your flight, there are a few more things to consider.
Like what?
Well, is this level of luxury and exclusivity really your vibe? Or would you be happier at a more relaxed, budget-friendly hotel?
That's a good point. Not every traveler is looking for the same experience.
Exactly. And that's what we're here for, to help you figure out if the Jervois aligns with your travel style and preferences.
So how are we going to do that?
Well, in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty details.
Like what?
Like room sizes, design aesthetics, and even some potential drawbacks to consider.
Ooh, getting into the nitty-gritty.
We're going to uncover all the hidden gems and help you make an informed decision about whether the Jervois is the right fit for your Hong Kong adventure.
Sounds good to me.
So, stick around. We'll be back in a flash with more insights and insider tips on the Jervois.
Can't wait.
All right, welcome back to our deep dive into the Jervois. Now, before we get too carried away with those private lift lobbies and egg tarts, we need to talk about something that might be on everyone's mind.
Room size.
Bingo! Hong Kong is known for being densely populated, so are we talking like shoebox-sized rooms here at the Jervois?
Well, not quite shoeboxes. The suites are actually described as spacious, especially by Hong Kong standards.
Okay, spacious for Hong Kong.
But yeah, it's all relative, right?
No.
If you're used to those massive hotel suites with separate living areas, the ones with all the bells and whistles, you might find the Jervois suites a bit more compact.
Makes sense. So for someone who's picturing like a multi-room penthouse suite, the Jervois might not be the best fit.
Probably not. If you're looking for that kind of space, you might want to consider a different type of accommodation altogether.
Right, right. Okay, so compact but comfortable, I can work with that. But what about the design? We talked about Christian Lieger's minimalist aesthetic. Could it be, well, a little too minimalist for some tastes? Like a little boring?
That's a good question. It really depends on your personal preferences.
Mm.
Lieger's style is very elegant, very understated, clean lines, natural materials, muted color palette.
It's definitely not for everyone.
Right. If you're someone who loves like bold colors and patterns, lots of decorative elements,
Yeah.
you might feel a bit underwhelmed.
I see, I see. So it's all about finding the right fit, right? Not every hotel has to appeal to every traveler.
Absolutely.
Okay, speaking of appealing, let's talk about something that's often a deal breaker for some travelers.
Uh-oh, what's that?
The lack of a swimming pool.
Ah, right. No poolside cocktails at the Jervois.
No lazy afternoons spent lounging by the pool with a good book.
Nope, not unless you bring your own inflatable pool.
Huh, that's a thought. But seriously, it's something to consider, especially if you're traveling with kids. Or if a pool is just, like, essential to your vacation experience.
Definitely.
And while we're on the topic of things, the Jervois doesn't have, I noticed they also don't have a full-blown spa.
You're right, there's no spa.
So no massages, no facials, no pampering treatments.
Not on site, at least.
But hey, maybe that's part of what makes the Jervois unique.
How so?
Well, it's not trying to be everything to everyone.
It's got a specific vibe.
It's more about immersing yourself in the neighborhood, exploring the city, and then coming back to this, like, stylish and comfortable sanctuary.
I like that, sanctuary.
But hold on, before we write off the Jervois for anyone who enjoys a good spa day, they do have that fantastic fitness center, right?
Oh, absolutely. The fitness center is top-notch.
So maybe that's their version of relaxation?
A good workout.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and talk about business travelers. We touched on the whole bleisure trend earlier, but what specifically does the Jervois offer someone who's in Hong Kong for work?
Well, besides the fully equipped kitchens, which are great for, grabbing a quick breakfast or even preparing a light meal if you're working late, they also have a dedicated business center.
Oh, nice. So printing, scanning, faxing, all those essential business tasks are covered.
Absolutely, they've got it all.
And high-speed Wi-Fi, of course.
Of course.
And I imagine there's a laundry and dry cleaning service.
You got it. No need to worry about wrinkled suits.
Perfect. Okay, so it sounds like they've really thought of everything a business traveler might need. But let's be real, luxury often comes with a hefty price tag. Are there any ways to, like, score a deal at the Jervois?
Well, like with most hotels, timing is everything. Traveling during the off-season or shoulder season can often lead to lower rates.
That makes sense.
And booking directly through the hotel's website can sometimes unlock special offers or packages that you won't find on those third-party booking sites.
Oh, that's a good tip.
And it's always worth signing up for their loyalty program or any rewards programs they might have.
Right, those can definitely lead to some discounts.
And sometimes it's as simple as asking. When you're making a reservation, just inquire about any special offers or promotions.
You never know.
The worst they can say is no.
Exactly. All right, we've talked about room sizes, amenities, even tips for saving money. But there's one thing we haven't really discussed yet. The vibe. What's the overall feeling you get from the Jervois?
It's interesting. It definitely has a sophisticated, understated elegance to it. It's not trying to be loud or flashy.
It's more about quiet luxury.
Yes, exactly. Personalized service, a sense of sanctuary amidst the bustling city.
I'm getting a very grown-up vibe from it. Like, this is a place for people who appreciate the finer things in life, who value privacy and exclusivity.
That's a good way to put it.
And that vibe is reflected in everything, from the design to the amenities to the location itself. Shongwan is a neighborhood with a rich history and a vibrant cultural scene, but it's also a bit more laid back than some of the other districts in Hong Kong.
Right. It's a place where you can, wander through traditional markets, discover hidden art galleries, soak up the local atmosphere, without feeling overwhelmed by the hustle and bustle.
So if you're looking for a hotel that's in the heart of the action, but still offers a sense of peace and tranquility, the Jervois might just be the perfect fit.
It could be. But, there's one thing that keeps nagging at me.
What's that?
We've talked about this polished, perfect side of the Jervois.
Mm-hmm.
But every hotel has its quirks, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
What are the things they don't want you to see in those glossy brochures?
You've got a point. There's always more to the story, and we want to make sure we're giving our listeners the full picture. So, in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to dig a little deeper. We'll uncover any potential downsides that guests have mentioned in their reviews, and we'll explore whether the Jervois truly lives up to its hype.
Sounds intriguing.
We'll leave no stone unturned, so you can make the most informed decision about whether the Jervois is the right fit for your Hong Kong adventure.
Can't wait.
Stay tuned. We're about to reveal all.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the Jervois. We've covered so much ground, from that chic design to the prime location in Shongwan.
Yeah, and those incredible private lift lobbies.
Oh, don't forget that impeccable service.
But we've also talked about some possible drawbacks.
Like those compact room sizes and no pool.
So now the big question, is the Jervois right for you?
Let's look at some of those guest reviews, see what we can find out.
Looking for those hidden gems of insight, the good, the bad, and the unexpected.
Give it to me straight. What are some of the things guests have mentioned that we might not see in the brochures? Well, some guests have mentioned noise level. Some street noise can be a bit of an issue, especially in the rooms facing the street.
That makes sense. Xinguan is lively.
If you're a light sleeper, it's something to think about.
You might want to request a room on a higher floor, or one facing the back.
Good idea.
And speaking of the neighborhood, some guests said the immediate surrounding area can feel a little gritty, a little industrial.
Well, yeah, Shunwan's a neighborhood in transition. You've got those trendy places popping up.
Yeah.
But there are still some older, more industrial buildings around.
So it's not all picture perfect?
Not exactly. It's got that real Hong Kong vibe,
Authentic.
not some polished, sanitized version of the city.
All right, now about the price. We know the Jervois is a luxury hotel. It's not going to be cheap. But is it worth the money?
Well, most guests seem to think so. They talk about that personalized service, the attention to detail.
Ceiling of exclusivity.
You're paying for an experience,
You're being pampered.
taken care of.
For some, that's priceless.
But it is interesting. Some guests said they love their stay, but they wouldn't choose the Jervois again.
Really? Why's that?
They said they felt like once was enough to experience the design and the location.
So they've checked it off the list.
They're ready to explore something new.
Hong Kong has so much to offer.
Right. It makes sense they'd want to try different neighborhoods and hotels.
So the Jervois isn't somewhere you'd go again and again, but it's definitely memorable.
Definitely.
Okay, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. What does the Jervois tell us about luxury travel these days?
Well, I think the Jervois represents this move toward understated luxury. It's not about being showy.
It's about quality
It's craftsmanship.
and creating a sense of intimacy,
Right. Travelers are looking for personalized experiences.
genuine connection.
They want something exclusive.
So it's not just about fancy sheets anymore,
No, it's about the story, the soul.
the experience.
Okay, so we've explored all sides of the Jervois.
Now let's bring it back to the listener.
Help them decide if it's right for them.
If you're looking for a hotel that just screams luxury with over-the-top amenities, a bustling, energetic atmosphere, the Jervois might not be your thing.
But if you're drawn to that understated elegance, the personalized service, a unique neighborhood,
The Jervois could be perfect.
it's for people who value privacy,
Appreciate design,
want to experience the real Hong Kong.
not just the tourist version.
And even if you decide the Jervois isn't right for you this time, we hope this deep dive has given you a fresh perspective on luxury travel.
It's all about finding those hidden gems in the places we stay and the places we visit.
Keep exploring, keep discovering. Find those experiences that make travel truly unforgettable.
That's a wrap for our deep dive into the Jervois. Hope you enjoyed it.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of travel.
Until then, happy travels.